Jennings. Almost as much speed as Bledsoe, maybe more. And Tony Snell back in. Jennings guarded by Jarrell. Step back Jennings, a three, it's through.
McLemore to basketball.
With apologies to Tony Allen, milk that horse. Zeller from the Peabody. Giannis Antetokounmpo back on the floor. Jennings with a drive and a finger roll over the lead by 4. Antetokounmpo for 3. Well, they feel very comfortable with Brandon Jennings. Brevin, as you point out, because he's familiar with the franchise. Zeller with a floater. Yeah, same number and everything.
Yeah, just the righty and the lefty.
Long 2.
What's good, 10K gang?
Now, today's video, I'm going to be talking about Brandon Jennings. We all know during this past offseason, Brandon Jennings was waived by the Milwaukee Bucks, and he now is currently playing overseas with his Russian team that competes in the Euro League. This video, I just want to talk about Brandon Jennings being frustrated with the NBA and just explain to you guys why he's willing to finish his career overseas. So first, let's talk about the Milwaukee Bucks. We all know in the 2009 NBA draft, the Bucks decided to draft Brandon Jennings as their 10th pick in the first round. Throughout the 4 years Brandon Jennings played with the Bucks, he literally averaged 15 plus points a game, being their starting point guard, and he was the face of their franchise during that time. Brandon Jennings also led the Bucks to the playoffs one year, playing alongside with Monte Ellis, but they then later got blown out by the Miami Heat in the first round. So as you can see, Brandon Jennings actually did a lot for the Bucks franchise, because around that time they wasn't a good team like how they are now. Let's fast forward to 2017 when Brandon Jennings was playing overseas in China, then decided to come back to the States and play for a G League team called the Wisconsin Herd, which is the G League team for the Milwaukee Bucks. Brandon Jennings played 7 games with this G League team. He averaged 21 points and 7 assists. Once the Milwaukee Bucks saw that Brandon Jennings was still able to be effective in the NBA, they decided to give him a 10-day contract. Now, this is why Brandon Jennings really feels the way he feels about the NBA, and he honestly don't care if he finishes his career overseas or not. And remind you guys, he's only 29 years old, so Brandon Jennings still got some years on him to play basketball professionally. So after Brandon Jennings played with the Milwaukee Bucks throughout the 10-day contract, which was about 3 or 4 games, the Bucks was liking the way he was contributing to the team, so they then decided to sit him down and negotiate a 2-year contract. Now, this is where it gets very odd about Brandon Jennings signing this 2-year contract with the Milwaukee Bucks. Okay, so around in April, they said that Brandon Jennings signed a 2-year contract with the Bucks, but later during the year, around in July during the NBA offseason, there was articles coming out that Brandon Jennings' guaranteed contract date has been pushed back. And a lot of people that support Brandon Jennings was very confused about that, just because in April they said that he signed a 2-year contract. It seemed like it was finalized already. So when I look at this situation, I think of 2 things. It's either someone that works with the Bucks organization probably heard some information, so they didn't put it out as in Brandon Jennings already signed this contract, or the Bucks did sign him but then decided to take his contract away from him, which is, I don't know if they can even do that, but you never know. Later during the offseason, the Bucks decided to waive him out of nowhere, so that whole situation was very odd to me. Now Brandon Jennings is playing overseas with a Russian team competing in the Euro League, and it's just like the position Brandon Jennings is in right now, he wants to play for a team that accepts him. A lot of these NBA teams has not really been accepting Brandon Jennings. They just been putting him on the roster just to have him on the roster. And I just feel like ever since he tore his ACL playing for the Detroit Pistons, everything has been going downhill for Brandon Jennings' NBA career. And it's not like Brandon Jennings can't hoop no more or anything. He's still an outstanding player. But I just really feel like if you give Brandon Jennings like 10 minutes a game, he's only going to do a little. He's that type of player that needs to stay in the game throughout most of the game to show you what he actually can do. Because right now overseas, he's averaging 15 points and 10 assists, shooting 50 field goal percentage and 44% from the 3-point line. I really feel like Brandon Jennings has already accepted that it's going to be extremely hard to make another NBA return. And it's just like a lot of teams already got point guards and all types of stuff. They looking for new rookies that's coming into the league also. So that's why he just feeling like, okay, if I can't make it to the NBA no more, I'm just going to stay in the Euro League, and I'm satisfied with it. I'm getting paid playing overseas, and I can still play basketball and do me. So we just got to see what's going to happen. I thank you guys for watching. If you make sure you like and subscribe, make sure you press the notification button. TK Gang, we out.